What's good, everybody? It's your boy Slim, aka Mr. Different, back with another video brought to you by the guys at Musiciangoods, your favorite epic producer. Today, this is part 2 of the mixing and mastering beats video. First video, I showed you how to master your beats, mix your beats. In this video, I'm gonna show you guys how to master your beats. And also, I want to say, go make sure you're checking out Musiciangoods website for all your apparel needs out there. I'm telling you, they got some dope stuff out there. Look, I'm even rocking my Musiciangoods hoodie today. You know, fresh, looks good. You know, check them out. They got everything: hoodies, kits. They got all kind of instruments, all kinds of good stuff. Check them out now. But anyway, we're gonna get to the video. So today, like I said, I'm gonna teach you guys how to master your beats. Because the first video I showed you how to level, how to mix, and how to just get your beats sounding right, you know, so you go to the mastering phase. Now, why would you want to master your beats? Well, mastering beats is not the same as mastering songs. Basically, because of mastering beats, you're just trying to enhance your beats, make them a little bit louder, or actually as loud as you possibly can, and also give them some flavor, because you want your artists, when they listen to the beats, they feel the punch of the kick drum, they feel the loudness, they can vibe to it, and it makes them want to go into the booth and start recording. So you want to make sure that your beats are not quiet compared to everybody else's beats, because like I said, artists think louder beats sound better. That's just a thing of nature, so we got nothing to do about that, but just make our stuff sound just as good. So let's jump inside FL Studio and get right into mastering our own beats, so you know we can make them beat sales and make that moolah. Let's get into it. So here we are inside of FL Studio. Now in this video, I will be showing you guys how to master your beats using third-party plugins. But don't worry, FL gang, I got you. I also got this template right here that actually has a bunch of stock plugins, and I'm gonna do the exact same master with the stock plugins that I do with the third-party plugins. And also, I'm gonna give this file to the guys at Musiciangoods and give them this exact channel right here, this actual like preset right here, where you can use yourself and download it and use yourself and master your own beats. See, I like you guys. You guys been showing me love, showing your support, leaving nice comments and all that stuff. So I'm gonna make sure I give back to you guys. So, no, man, different. You're the best. Anyway, let's get right to it. So here's the beat from last time. So I'm gonna go ahead and play a little bit of it so you guys can get familiar with it again, and then we'll get into mastering this beat. So let's just play it real quick. Okay, so there you go. As you can see, really good sounding, really nice mix. You see the waveform. It has a lot of headroom to push louder, so we're gonna definitely do that. Now, if you're watching over here in the master, my beat is hitting around -6 dB. Why? Because that gives me a good bit of headroom to master my beats a little louder. As you see, when I go right here to one of the loudest parts, you see that it's about -6 dB. And that just gives me, like I say, a headroom to make it master. And also, I'm not doing this inside of the FLP file. I'm actually doing this inside of the 2-track, because me personally, I like to master the overall beat. That way it gives me less things. I don't have to go back and tweak stuff and all this, and I just keep going back and forth. I just, you know, I commit to it. This is what I got, and I'm gonna try to make this sound as good as possible. So if you're not happy with your mix, you need to go back and remix it. But you know, I'm happy with my mix, so now let's master it. So let's get right to it. So the first thing I like to do when it comes to mixing and mastering beats is I like to enhance my beats with some sort of enhancing plugin. Now, in this case, I'm using the Waves I Am Pusher plugin. Very dope plugin, one of my favorite plugins. It is just amazing when it comes to overall, you know, giving your mix a little bit more punch and all that kind of stuff, because all the knobs are pretty well laid out. It's just got simple knobs that say simple things like body, highs, lows, stuff like that, stereo image. And you know, I don't have to focus on frequencies and nothing like that. I just turn it until it sounds good. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. First, I like to set my input to make sure it's like in the yellow, and now let's go through and just tweak stuff until it sounds good to me. So let's go ahead and do that. Now you can just hear the before after. So what I pretty much did is I brought this magic knob right here, brought some body in, lows, highs, little stereo image. I don't really mess with the focus or dynamics unless I'm doing like a song, but as you can hear if I A-B it, you just hear how it just enhances what I already got. So before, after. Great plugin. I'm gonna show you the alternative to use in a little bit. So now that I got my enhancement and I got my starting place, next I'm gonna add just a little bit of compression. Now when it comes to compression, I'm gonna use a standard bus compression technique like an SSL stuff and all that kind of stuff. I like to use the Fab Filter Pro C2 because it's the most versatile compressor I got. It can be any compressor I want it to be. So, you know, that's kind of cool right there. But, you know, use a compressor you like to use, that's up to you. So I'm gonna switch this to bus mode because that kind of emulates the SSL bus compressor and, you know, the SSL consoles. And then I'm gonna switch my release to auto, and then I'm gonna bring my threshold down so I can hear the compressor. Now when it comes to bus compression, you want to have a slow attack and a fast release because a fast attack is gonna crush your drums. You don't want that, especially in hip hop, rap, trap, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna make sure that my attack is gonna be pretty slow. Since I got it on a auto release, it's gonna, you know, do its thing. But if you do set the release yourself, make sure you have a slow release. So let's just see what this sounds like and get a little compression going on. Okay, now I'm gonna back out my threshold because we got way too much suppression. That's negative 20 dB. We don't want that. We want about, you know, 4, at the most 4 dB, something like that. Just something simple because I said we're doing the overall mix. So just a little bit here. So I'm gonna back it off. And it's a little bit more punchier. Now I am going to turn on the side chain right here and just kind of make sure that my lows are not getting too affected. That's why I love this compressor because it has so much you can do to it. But if you don't have this side chain functionality, don't worry about it. You ain't gotta worry about it. I'm just doing this because it's there and I'm gonna use it. But like I said, you don't have to use it if the compressor don't have that. But like I say, just a slow attack. You see 30 milliseconds for an attack. I have, you know, auto release, but I would have a slow release. And then like I said, just a 4-to-1 compression. You could do 2-to-1. I like 4-to-1, you know, it's a heavier song. And then, you know, my makeup gain's the auto, but you want to, you know, make your gain up so, you know, you're not losing volume. But as you can see, it is a little bit more punchier, has a little bit more, you know, cojones. And, you know, it just sounds a lot better to me. That's personal. So, you know, but hey, do you compress it more, compress it less? Next up is the EQ. Now I use the EQ because I want to enhance some more things in there. Like I might want to make some more bass. I might want more highs, less mids. That's what I'm gonna do right here and see what I can do to enhance it without, you know, going too crazy with it. So let's see what I can do right there. I'm using Pro EQ 3 because, you know, it's my favorite EQ and I like because it's super versatile. So let's go ahead and play that now. And also notice that I'm starting at the loudest part of my beat every time because that's where, you know, I want the most energy is gonna be. So make sure you start at the loudest part of your beat when you're doing this. So let's go. All right, so what did I do? Basically what I did is I just bumped up some of the lows again. Just want to make it more punchy, more heavy hitting. This is a trap beat, if we want. I took out some of these mids because mid frequencies can really muddy up your mix, and especially when you add vocals on top of that. The mid frequency is gonna, hinder the vocals and stuff like that. So cutting out a little bit would just help it better. Then I added a little bit of them highs to get a little more sparkle in the hi-hats, and I added a little bit more air to it, whatnot. And like I said, I'm only doing about 2 dB, 1 dB, 1 dB, 2 dB. Like I said, because we're mastering, so I'm not trying to go crazy with it. If I need to go crazy with it, I gotta go back to the mix and fix that. When mastering, you want to do a little bit, goes a long way. So yeah, that's just what I did. It sounds good to me. Like I said, I'm just going back and forth. Like I said, it's all going to be suggestive. You want to do it by ear and by beat. So don't take these as rules. Just like I said, if you want to find your EQ, boost it real high, see what sticks out, see what you want to enhance, and then boost or cut accordingly. And when you're mastering, make sure you use a wide Q, because you want to affect a wider band, because it just sounds more smoother and more natural sounding. You don't want to have it narrow, have it a wide Q. And what I mean by narrow wide Q, instead of having it look like this, like a little skinny pencil, have it looking really wide like that. That is more natural, more transparent, and more a mastering thing. So now, last but not least, is going to be the limiter. And this is how we're going to get our volume. Now, I'm using the Pro L2, my favorite limiter of all time. It's amazing. Like, I love this limiter. But use whatever limiter you can. Now, like I said, the main thing right here is not to hit no certain LUFS or dB or whatever. We want to make it as loud as we can without distorting. That's it. So I'm going to push it into a super loud and distorting, and I'm going to back off of it, and that's what's going to be the thing. So let's do that right now. Now, one thing I like about FabFit, they have a little preset right here that actually prevents your thing from distorting, so you can hear when distortion happens, and I leave it like that. So let's do it now. Okay, that's way too loud, of course. I'm gonna back it off till I don't hear the distortion. You can see it's distorting. All right, now it's gonna get loud, so be ready. Here we go. Lord, I'm rapping on this beat. So now let's go ahead and bypass everything and hear the before and after. So before. And after. See how simple that was? Super easy, super simple. Enhanced my beat, made it louder, made it punchier. And now when I put this up on, as a tight beat or whatever on the internet, people are going to love it. The artist's going to hear it, get a sale, boom, bam, bam, get a placement. Y'all know what it is. So now let me show you how to do the exact same thing with stock plugins, because I'm going to do it real quick. I'm not going to go in depth. I'm just going to kind of go quick with it because the video's already long enough. So let's just, do that real quick. So the first thing I'm gonna use is Soundgoodizer. Use that, Soundgoodizer, man. I mean, it's basically the same thing. Or you can use the Maximus plugin, whichever one works. Or just download OTT as well. OTT is a free plugin that works. So let's go ahead and give this beat a little bit of enhancement. Okay, so we got the enhancement going on. Now we use the Fruity compressor because, it's simple to use. Set to a 4:1 ratio. Like I said, I'm gonna do the same I had last time, so about 30 milliseconds. And then we're gonna set this to like maybe pretty fast. Do like this, see what this sounds like. One thing I don't like about Fruity Compressor is the fact it don't have no gain reduction meter or anything like that. But you can see I might boost it up, just give it a few little dB. Yeah, definitely, but it does still impact. See, they say stop plugins are just as good as anything else, you know, if you know how to use them. Next up, I'm gonna EQ some stuff, so let's get to that. Sounds real good. And then last but not least, a Fruity limiter to get that thing sound good. So I'm gonna set my ceiling to about negative. And that's what I should have mentioned too. If when you're doing a limiter, you want to make sure that your output is set to like -1. That way you just keep it from clipping and keep it from, you know, distorting at the end. I should have said that, but I'm gonna set the ceiling to -1, and then I'm just gonna boost the gain till it's loud enough. So let's compare the third-party plugin versus the stock plugins real quick. So third-party. Stock. I would say the stock plugins are a little bit more punchy. I think my compression is a little bit off a little bit, so I might need to fix my compressor a little bit more and play around with that, because that might be an issue. And the limiter, I might have to set the limiter a little bit different as well. But overall, it still hits hard, still sounds full, still sound punchy. And I did just always stop playing. So like I said, I will make sure that I give you guys this preset or these plugins in this order. That way you can do it yourself on your own DAW of choice, which FL Studio, of course, because FL Game for Life. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoy like always. Hope you guys learned something. Like I said, I really enjoy making these videos, and you know, with your guys' good feedback and comments, I want to keep making these videos. This was a longer video, but like I said, you know, I wanted to make sure I go in depth with it so you guys understand that stuff and that, you know, you can do the best with this knowledge. So hopefully you guys enjoy. Make sure you download this preset, you know, so you can actually use this yourself. Make sure you check out Musician Good for some nice apparel. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Come check out my channel, Mrdifferenttv. Join the community. And y'all know, with that being said, hope you guys enjoy. Like always, I'm your favorite nappy-headed producer, not motivated by the money, but the like, comment, subscribe, and views. And with that being said, hope you guys enjoy, and I will catch you guys in the next video. You know what? See you later. Yeet.